That's right, but our focus will remain this evening on that big election announcement and the election tracker that we put together, the India Today Cicero election tracker. Who is winning the battle for Delhi? That's the big question that we are going to raise over the next couple of hours. We're going to bring you figures based on an exclusive opinion poll that we've done. Special guests will be joining us, but before that, let's take a look at what exactly is at stake in Delhi. 26 days from now, Delhi will cast its vote to form the next government in the capital. Results to be declared on the 10th of February, voting on the 7th. Will Delhi give Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party another chance? Will Narendra Modi's juggernaut simply sweep away all opponents? Brajesh Pandey and Ankit Tyagi set the stage for the first big election of 2015.
आपने कभी ऐसे राजनेता देखे हैं जो खुद कहें कि हाँ मैं अनार्किस्ट हूं?
हमने कभी भी इस किस्म की व्यक्तिगत गाली गलौज और भला बुरा बोलने वाली राजनीति नहीं की।
After weeks of political slugfest over Delhi, the battle cry has been sounded.
A date of poll, the 7th February, Saturday. A date of counting, 10th February, Tuesday. Date before which election shall be completed, that is completion of election process, is 12th February.
Delhi will be going to polls on the 7th of February. The spotlight essentially on two parties, the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party.
The BJP goes into poll mode riding high on its Lok Sabha and subsequent state election wins. But what is working against it is its heavy dependence on Narendra Modi and absence of a chief ministerial face.
We will win, we will form a government on our own, and we will usher in development, we will usher in governance, which is the most important issue in this election.
What sets Aam Aadmi Party apart from its political rivals is a clear chief ministerial face. Also, a substantial percentage of middle and lower caste base is still behind the party. But after a 49-day controversial rule in Delhi, the biggest challenge Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal faces is to regain the trust of Delhi.
दिल्ली को एक चुनी हुई सरकार मिलेगी जो बिजली के दाम आधे करेगी, जो करप्शन फ्री दिल्ली को बनाएगी, ब्राइब खत्म करेगी दिल्ली में.
And for the Congress, it's picking up the pieces after the Lok Sabha and State Assembly defeats. Looking to counter the Modi juggernaut, Ajay Markan is likely to be the face of the party's campaign committee.
We have been able to accomplish a lot without even a single charge on me. So likewise, we have a large number of such colleagues of mine who are honest.
The countdown to perhaps 2015's biggest state election now begins. Will Delhi invest its faith in one party, or will there be a 2014 rerun? So brace yourselves for 26 days of capital showdown. Bureau Report, headlines today.
Okay, let's then first introduce our guests who will look at all the big numbers that we are going to put in a moment. With me is Manisha Priyam, senior academic and political analyst, joining me. Also Javed Ansari, our national affairs editor. They're here in the studio to give their independent perspective. Also joining me, Randeep Singh Surjewala, spokesperson of the Congress Party. I will be joined by Yogendra Yadav of the Aam Aadmi Party in a moment from now. And I am joined by Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, and also Rajiv Karandikar, director of the Chennai Mathematical Institute, who does all the number crunching for us in all our polls. And I'm going to cut the chase today, go straight to the big numbers. But first, the methodology. The survey has been conducted across 70 assembly constituencies with respondents from 210 polling stations surveyed. The total sample size of this survey is 4,460, and it was conducted between the 2nd of January and the 6th of January. Let's then look at all the big numbers that we are going to give you. Let's go straight to that biggest number. Who is winning the elections if they are held today in Delhi? This is what we are saying in terms of vote share. 9% is others. That is down 4.9 from 2013. Congress, we believe, is at a loss of 8.5%. They are down now to 16% of the vote. This, remember, is a party which once almost got 50% of the vote in Delhi. Our poll reveals that the Aam Aadmi Party's vote share is actually going up. Aam Aadmi Party getting a gain of 6.5% up to 36%. But we believe, as per our survey, the BJP will top the vote share chart with 40%, a gain of 6.9%. Now, how is all this translating into seats? That's the big question. And I want to go straight to Dr. Rajiv Karandikar at the moment. Dr. Karandikar, how is this translating into seats at the moment?
Well, the 4% advantage that the BJP has over AAP should translate to, should take them just around the halfway mark. 34 to 40 seats for BJP out of 70 and AAP 25 to 31. Congress left with 3 to 5 and others 0 to 2.
Let me then again put this before our viewers. You are saying today that of the 70 seats in Delhi, BJP 34 to 40, Aam Aadmi Party 25 to 31, Congress 3 to 5. Am I right? Those are the big numbers. Others 0 to 2. So effectively, if we put those numbers down all together, if we put all those seat forecasts, that's what we are projecting, that the BJP could cross the halfway mark. Now, Rajiv, when I look at the vote percentage, it's 40% playing 36%. So the gap is about 4%. Could that go even further towards the BJP's advantage, a gap of that 4%?
Yeah, it can, but Congress being a third but way behind, I think the gap between AAP and BJP is not likely to increase than what it is now. Of course, we must remember that this is the picture as of now. There are 4 more weeks to go before the polls, lot of campaigning to happen. So what happens on that day, on the voting day, we have to wait and see. But this is the picture during the 3 days that our survey was taken.
The 3 days that the survey was taken, this is the picture. Let me get the first political reaction that are coming in. Sambit Patra, should this poll make you smile, or is this poll going to make you feel that this is a tough contest? You are at the moment, as per our survey, in a 70-member assembly, getting 34 to 40 seats, midpoint 37. You cross the halfway mark, but you are not as comfortable perhaps as you were in some other states where elections took place in 2014.
Rajdeep, I would say that we are neither arrogant nor overconfident, but we are rightly confident, taking lessons from the past, we are rightly confident that on our own, Bharatiya Janata Party will form its government. So, your question that whether I should smile or not, yes, definitely I should smile, but I should not arrogantly laugh. We should be prepared on the ground, and that's what we are doing. We are relentlessly working. We are working very hard. And we know our Prime Minister is not even taking a break of 15 minutes. He's working that hard. So definitely we all should be working hard to ensure that the instability that existed in Delhi for this whole 1 year, in fact, should be wiped out, and Delhi should get a stable governance finally.
But, you know, let me just persist. You're saying you don't want to be arrogant. You say you don't want to laugh, but it appears at the moment that there is the general belief has been that the BJP believes at the moment that they can win every election. They have nothing to fear. Do you believe you see the same way? Do you see Delhi in the same way that you saw Maharashtra or a Haryana or a Jharkhand, that these are elections where the BJP is clearly, in your view, in pole position to win, that you don't have anything to worry about? Is there anything that worries you today, Sambit Patra, with those numbers?
No, I would not say there's nothing to worry about. I mean, in a political dispensation, politicians should always be prepared, but preparedness should never be seen as nervousness. Well, yes, we are prepared. We are worried about our preparation in the sense that our preparations to the booth level should be a best one. I mean, there should be no compromise with our preparation. And a politician who is not worried with the preparation is a politician who loses. So to say that we are not worried would be a wrong thing. We will calculate in the best possible manner to see to it that we perform historically as we had performed with most of the states. As far as Jharkhand is concerned, look, I mean, it was a historical victory in the Jharkhand state in the sense that after 14 years, Jharkhand got stability. In Jammu and Kashmir, where no one could have thought that Bharatiya Janata Party would have performed in this way, that it was almost a second largest party with only 3 short from being the single largest party, I believe. This is not that we are being overconfident, but well, yes, it does give us a sense of well-being that Mr. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is really working very hard, and people of India have faith on his visions.
You know, you're saying that there is a sense of well-being that you have. By contrast, Randeep Singh Surjewala, it appears the Congress, if anything at the moment, doesn't have a sense of well-being. You're down, as per our survey, to 3 to 5 seats and just 16% of the votes. If this survey is right, then you're heading for a virtual wipeout, even worse than what you did in December 2013.
Well, Rajdeep, I've seen many other surveys of a similar nature. Let me start by flagging two issues for your consideration and consideration of your viewers. There are 130 lakh voters in Delhi. This survey only covers 4,400 out of them.
Yes.
This survey also covers only 120 booths, which is 1/3 of any booth, any of the total booths in a particular constituency.
This is, Randeep Singh ji, this is how polls are done. Every poll is pointing to one direction, that the Congress is heading for a wipeout, which is why today apparently you are bringing in Ajay Makan to revive your campaign.
Well, Rajdeep, we have a set of young leaders, and as and when an announcement is made to that effect, we will, but Congress is going certainly ahead with a phase that we will shortly announce. And we will not be leaderless, unlike many
you will
other
announce a face.
Parties plan.
No, that's a secret. You will announce a chief ministerial face, is it? Congress will announce a chief ministerial face.
We will, no, the practice, Rajdeep, in the Congress party has been to announce a chairman of the campaign committee, who normally heads the campaign, and we already have a PCC president in Mr. Arvinder Lovely. Having said that, I just want to point out one thing to you.
Yes.
People of Delhi now have seen the anarchist rule of Aam Aadmi Party for 49 days.
Yes.
People have also seen the tall promises that were made 7 months back, and BJP has been ruling through governor's rule in Delhi for those 7 months. So it is not like the last election. People now have seen the reality set in. People have seen Congress for 15 years when it transformed Delhi, and people now have seen the two parties.
Okay, I've taken your point. Yogendra Yadav, you are joining us of the Aam Aadmi Party. Our survey, Yogendra Yadav, is showing Aam Aadmi Party 25 to 31 and the BJP 34 to 40. 36% votes to Aam Aadmi Party, 40% to the BJP. Would you agree that at the moment the Aam Aadmi is playing catch up because the BJP is the front runner?
Rajdeep, one thing I have learned over the years, now on being both sides of this divide, is number one, it is pointless to quarrel with figures. This is a very valuable feedback that surveys bring, and especially the one that you've done. These are credible, serious surveys, which I really respect. And the other thing is that it's also somewhat pointless to presume 1 month before the election that we have the result. We are looking at a trend. And the trend that you show is that we started with a 13-point deficit. According to your poll, we've made it to say, what, -3% or something. So in the last 6-7 months, we have covered about 10 percentage point according to your polls.
But our poll also shows that there is no increase in your percentage.
That's my internal thing.
This is the second of our trackers. In the last 1 month, there is no increase in the Aam Aadmi Party's vote percentage.
Yeah, I recognize that. That's an important feedback for us. To my mind, the critical moment has begun now. BJP has had its big rally, which is probably after your poll was done, on which lots of hopes were pegged. And we know what happened to that rally. Elections have now been announced. So this is the critical moment. Over the years I've seen this is the critical moment when the trend begins to accelerate. My hope, my understanding and my information is that in the last 4-5 weeks, certain sections of society have begun to lean in favor of Aam Aadmi Party, which now can concretize. That is the crucial thing that we need to see. So for me, the important point is R203. Number one, the trend over time, which is towards Aam Aadmi Party making up that deficit. Number two, to remember that BJP has almost invariably been always overrepresented in every pre-election survey. Exit polls are a different story, but pre-election surveys tend to overrepresent BJP, not because they are biased, but because BJP has a certain kind of social profile. So my overall conclusion from this is that the contest now, to my mind, is an even contest. We started with a deficit. It's an even contest. And it's next 4 weeks. I mean, it's less than 4 weeks. It's actually 3 weeks.
Can I put that therefore then to Manisha Priyam? Are we therefore heading for an election which is tighter and closer than perhaps the ones we saw in 2014, at least at the moment? 2014, if you remember, Manisha, by and large, it was clear that the BJP and the Shiv Sena were well ahead in Maharashtra, even though they fought the election separately. In Jharkhand, it was clear that the BJP was emerging as a dominant party in Jharkhand. Do you believe, by contrast, in Haryana too, the BJP was emerging as the leading party by some distance? Here, the gap is not as wide. Am I to understand this is still an open race, or do you believe that the BJP now has the momentum after Modi's rally in particular on Saturday to go even further ahead?
I'll just try and compare these elections to the elections that we had in Delhi itself just a year ago. And I would say it does remain a very tight battle for the BJP. Remember, this is a city that has protested in very unusual ways. It's not been a rally site for things that are happening all over the country, where people gather behind the Red Fort and then they go for a token rally or protest march at Jantar Mantar. It's been a city that's protesting with its feet down on its own issues. On voting for the Aam Aadmi Party, this was the insurgent citizen of the city, on its issues, on its marginalization. I doubt very much that the memory of this kind of political activity can be wiped out or erased by the story or saga of a massive majority that I would credit Narendra Modi as having given to the 16th Lok Sabha in the country. So what I would say right now is that for the BJP, certainly even that election was an advantage. There is somewhat an advantage now, but its people are deciding on their own. And I would say that this remains tight not just for the BJP, but even for the Aam Aadmi Party, who would be watching very keenly the Dalits who voted for them in the assembly elections and then went ahead and voted for the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections. So on both sides, a very tight battle of people that are becoming political citizens in the true sense of the term, and therefore a real battle, albeit with small numbers and a state truncated in terms of its political powers. I would see this as the first political battle for the city of Delhi after centuries literally, and history therefore will be registered.
You're saying this is unusual and different to any previous battle that Delhi has had. You know, in that sense, Javed, is this becoming about Arvind Kejriwal versus Narendra Modi? Is this again a presidential style battle? And we're going to come to who's the preferred chief ministerial candidate in a moment, but is that the nature of the battle? Arvind Kejriwal's 49-day performance versus Narendra Modi's performance as prime minister. Is that what it is being reduced to? Or do you believe this is a localized election which will be fought on who should be my MLA?
Rajdeep, I think the BJP would want it to be a Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal, because with Modi there, at least they have something to shout about. They don't have a leader of stature in Delhi. That's the biggest handicap that the BJP faces, and the biggest advantage that the AAP has over the BJP is that it has Kejriwal. Good or bad, there's Kejriwal there. There's a
but on the other hand, the very fact that you have a government at the center run by a powerful prime minister like Narendra Modi could encourage the voters of Delhi to say, let's have the same government. It happened in Maharashtra, it happened in Haryana. We want the same government at center and state, because that is the only way there can be perfect coordination. Do you believe that's a valid line of strategy for the BJP at the moment?
Well, possibly. There is a possibility that people could think that way, but they've had an example. Previously, the Congress was in power in Haryana and in Delhi. And they were in power, I mean, in the central government as well. But not too much came their way. Look at the water problem. They had a friendly chief minister, they had a government of the same party in Haryana, but yet they were squabbling over where water was concerned. So there are issues. This is the BJP has a battle on its hand. There is no denying the fact that they have their nose ahead. And my understanding is that with this being such a tight race between the AAP and the BJP, and as polling day draws near, the Congress will fade out. A lot of those who are now supporting Congress may think that the only way of preventing BJP from coming to power in Delhi is that they might think in terms of gravitating towards the Aam Aadmi Party.
I can see where you're coming from, but Sambit Patra, what I want to understand is that if the BJP has a sense of well-being, as you've called it on our program, then why is the Prime Minister in his public meetings launching the kind of attack that we saw on Arvind Kejriwal? It was interesting that the Prime Minister during the general elections had almost ignored Arvind Kejriwal. In the Delhi elections, the Prime Minister virtually called him an anarchist and said that if he wants to practice the kind of politics he does, he should go to the jungle. Do you believe that there was a sign of nervousness of the Prime Minister when he was making those comments? Or is this the way the BJP is going to approach this election? Go hell on leather after Arvind Kejriwal, target him this time?
No, Rajdeep, you have to realize that this so-called nervousness of Mr. Narendra Modi has been talked about in the media especially since time long. I mean, if you would remember when Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was travelling by a train to Varanasi to contest election, the whole media and many of the panelists were gaga over the fact that now Mr. Modi is losing ground, now Mr. Modi is absolutely nervous because here comes Mr. Arvind Kejriwal to defeat Mr. Modi.
So you believe the Prime Minister was perfectly justified in suggesting that Arvind Kejriwal is an anarchist or virtually a Naxal who should go to the jungles?
Yeah, I'll answer you. If you allow me some time and I'll answer you. First and foremost, it's not that the Prime Minister called Mr. Arvind Kejriwal an anarchist. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has himself designated as that I am an anarchist, and we all know that he called himself an anarchist. And as far as going to jungles is concerned, it's but natural that anarchism has place in jungle and anarchism has no place in a right civilization like the place we are having elections on, that is in Delhi. But this, I'm appalled by the sense that Mr. Modi is always appearing to be nervous of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. This is what has been projected in most of the debates in the media. Why should he be nervous? And why did he take the name of why did he take the attack towards Aam Aadmi Party? It's but natural that in Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party is a stakeholder in the politics of Delhi. So definitely the Aam Aadmi Party should be, in a way, shown the mirror that you are the ones who are telling that you are anarchist. And so as a reason, you are not entitled to rule over a civilization in Delhi. That's the reason as to why.
Can I then take that to Yogendra Yadav? Because Yogendra Yadav, on the other hand, there's a feeling that the Aam Aadmi Party is desperate to avoid making this a contest with Narendra Modi. That you are almost frightened of the fact of Narendra Modi's popularity, and therefore you are trying to make this election about Arvind Kejriwal versus any other candidate that the Delhi BJP may have to offer, and you are aware that Mr. Modi's popularity could well also stretch to Delhi in a state election.
Rajdeep, if we were discussing all this on the 8th or 9th of January, I can understand, because all of us thought, everyone thought that, look, at the moment Aam Aadmi Party is there, you're doing very well, you're coming up, but once Mr. Modi enters, the entire situation would change. But now we have seen it. We have seen the rally. There were claims that it will have more than 1 lakh people. I did not claim it, BJP claimed it, and we know what the turnout was. Media reports, it's not my reports. As for the Prime Minister's nervousness or whatever, these are not speculations. This is body language on television. Clearly, he was off color. Why was he off color? Did he not have enough crowd? Was the crowd not responsive? Was he unhappy with the people sitting around? Was he annoyed that there was not even a single face that he could project? Or did he feel finally he's met his match? Something was happening. Everyone saw it.
Are you happy to make this election about Kejriwal versus Modi? Let me be more direct. Are you happy to make this election about Arvind Kejriwal versus Narendra Modi?
No, but why should we? Our strategy is absolutely open and public, and the strategy is we want to convert this Delhi Assembly election into an assembly election of Delhi. This is not a national election. And because, to the best of my knowledge, Mr. Modi is not planning to step down and become an MLA and therefore a CM of Delhi, I see no reason why I should be comparing Arvind Kejriwal with Mr. Modi.
Is the BJP wanting to make it Modi versus Kejriwal?
Why should I get into that game?
Sambit Patra, quick answer. Is the BJP wanting to make this about Narendra Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal, or at least Narendra Modi versus anyone else? That you believe that every election now will be fought only in the name of Mr. Modi?
No, Mr. Yogendra Yadav ji was saying right now that to his best of the knowledge, the Prime Minister is not going to step down and become the Chief Minister of Delhi. He's absolutely right. The Prime Minister is not going to step down and become the Chief Minister of Delhi. If alone someone stepped down and wanted to be the Prime Minister of the country and then yet again now wants to be the Chief Minister of Delhi, it is Arvind Kejriwal. Only he can do such kind of U-turns and all. No one else in this country can even dare of thinking such kind of quitting politics. We take challenges, fight. We do not fight back. I mean, we do not run back to become something.
Is the election being fought in the name of Mr. Modi? Straight answer. I just want a quick straight answer. Is it being fought in the name of Mr. Modi and what you believe is his track record as Prime Minister?
No, definitely. I mean, Mr. Modi's vision is one of the most important ingredients for most of the elections which are being fought in India after the 2014 election. Because Mr. Narendra Modi is the one who changed the paradigm of Indian election thought process. He was the one who introduced the concept of development in Indian politics. Before that, it was on Modi that we were fighting elections.
Can I focus on Delhi for a moment? Because, you know, Narendra Modi, you're saying, has changed the paradigm of Indian politics. This is a Delhi election. Randeep Singh Surjewala